Claiborne Yarborough with Barefoot Technologies, and we have one of our integrated partners, TruPlace, with us today, and Mike Heller is going to give us a great presentation and answer any of your questions. So with that being said, Mike, go ahead and take it away.
Thank you very much. And I also want to thank you for taking the time, and Barefoot for taking the time to set this up today. Like Claiborne said, my name is Michael Heller. I'm the Vice President of Sales and Marketing at TruPlace. And today I'm here to talk about our interactive floor plan tours. I'm going to talk about how the floor plan tours work, the benefits of using the floor plan tours, and the advantages that they can bring to your business. And as stated earlier, if anyone has a question along the way, please feel free to jump in and ask. I thought I'd start by explaining exactly what an interactive floor plan tour is for anybody that's not familiar with the tours or with TruPlace. An interactive floor plan tour consists of two pieces. One of the pieces is professional photography. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to send in a professional photographer to take pictures of the entire place. We're going to shoot interior pictures. We're going to shoot exterior pictures. We're going to shoot amenities. We don't limit the amount of pictures that we take. So if it's a smaller place, maybe it's 20, 24 pictures. If it's a larger place, you could have a lot more. Basically, we're going to shoot as many pictures as necessary to highlight and show off the unit. So the second part of the interactive floor plan tour is the floor plan. So after the photographer is done taking all the pictures, they're going to draw the floor plan. They're actually hand sketching the floor plan on a piece of graph paper. And they're using a laser meter to measure all of the rooms. So when we're talking about the floor plan and the drawing, it's actually an accurate floor plan to scale. After the photographer is done with the photos and with the floor plans, they're transmitting those back to our corporate office where the tour is produced. And what I mean by produced is the first thing we're doing is we're looking at the photos. We're making sure that all the photos look exactly the way we want. There's no flash spots and mirrors, the color's right, there's nothing wrong or something we wouldn't want to be seen in the photos. We're really making sure they're up to TruPlace's high level of standard on every single one. After that, we're taking the floor plan that was hand drawn and we're retracing it into our corporate software. We then put the two together, which gives us the interactive floor plan tour. You can kind of see on the right-hand side, this is a static version of what it will look like. And in a minute, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring up one of our tours, and I'll take you through the tour, and you can really get a good feel for how the tour looks and the advantages and such. Really quickly before I do that, I just wanted to give you a little bit of background information on TruPlace. The company was founded in 2003. The owners of the company actually had a vacation rental place in West Virginia. And in 2003, really, if you talk about professional pictures, much less floor plans, people really just weren't doing that much with that. So they really saw the need, to have that floor plan and that interactivity. And TruPlace at the time was Mouse on House was born. Since then, we've done a lot of tours in the vacation rental, and we also do a lot of tours in the residential real estate arena. Maryland and D.C., Virginia area, we produce almost 6,000 tours a year. So we're heavily invested in those tours in this area, and I think we've produced well over 7,000 or 8,000 vacation rental tours all across the United States, and those continue to grow as well. Nationally, we've produced over 35,000 tours in total, and that number keeps growing, and we've cataloged over 3.5 million professional photos. So I always like to just give you a kind of an idea of where we've come from in the time we've been in the business and what we've done so far. So now that we've talked a little bit about an interactive floor plan tour and where we come from, what I actually like to do is show you what a tour looks like. Can everybody see the tour on their screen and the floor plan on the right? Everything looks okay?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So, so the first thing we come up with is you get this really nice big image here on the left-hand side. All of our images, we're using really big high-res images, so you're going to get a really good feel on all of our pictures for what that place looks like. If somebody decides, hey, I'd love to start by just looking at the pictures, they're going to be able to bring up all the pictures, and we can start with the exteriors. All they need to do is click on that picture, and it'll bring up that picture. Can do the same thing with the interiors. So we're going through, we're shooting bathrooms, living rooms, bedrooms. Again, just depends on how big the place is and how many we need to highlight it. This is also really important as well, and that's amenities. Not only when somebody's coming to see what your property looks like, they also want to see what amenities are in the area. So we're shooting pools. If there's a fitness room, we're going to shoot that fitness room. It really just depends on what they're looking for, what we think somebody's going to want to see. And when we're working with a property manager, we'll ask and include any amenities that they see necessary as well. Obviously, the key to the floor plan tour is the floor plan. And we have an interactive floor plan tour. And what I mean by that, I'm just going to take the mouse. And as I move the mouse and highlight over a room, you're going to see the picture of that room come up. I don't even need to click on that room. The other thing you'll notice is the picture comes up instantly. So as I move room to room, the picture pops up. There's no down times. There's no load times. If you click on if you highlight over one of the red dots, you're going to see multiple views of the room. We have entry level. We can see where all the bedrooms are, where the bathrooms are. So what's the real benefit of having the floor plan? When you talk about deciding where somebody wants to stay on their vacation, photos are great and they tell you a lot, but there's a lot of things photos individually don't tell you. And that's where are things located. You might have a family coming in and there's a couple little kids, and it's really important that a number of bedrooms are close to the master bedroom so they can be close. You might have a couple teenagers coming in and somebody says, I want them on the other side of the place as far away from me as possible. You're not going to be able to know that just through pictures. One of the people that I work with always tells a story. They went to Hawaii last year, and they stayed in a place. They were really psyched. It looked like a beautiful place. The only problem is when they got there, the master bedroom was right up against the kitchen, and they had a bunch of kids. And literally the kids were in the kitchen all night, and he said he didn't sleep the entire time. If he had had that floor plan, he would have known exactly where the rooms were located, and that would have been removed. What you're really trying to accomplish when you have somebody come to the site and view these tours is you want them to feel good about the tour. You want them to book with confidence. You don't want them to think about it, maybe leave and go off the site. You want them to feel good about what they're doing then and there. By having the photos and being able to just highlight over each photo and see where everything is and know where it is and know where the picture is, it really removes any of that doubt of what am I getting into, what's the place going to look like. You're becoming emotionally attached to the property. They may be coming with other families. People are picking out the bedrooms. The kids are picking out the bedrooms. By the time they're done, they're able to book with confidence, which really is important, as you know. The other big advantage, and I'll talk about this a little later, is with your reservation agents. Anybody here knows that when you're trying to explain where a property, what a property is located as far as the rooms and where everything is, it's really hard to know what everyone looks like, where everything is, and where everything is situated. So by having the floor plan available, it really, really makes a big difference for that reservation agent, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in a couple minutes. Before I move on off the tour, did anybody have any questions on the tours themselves or how they work or the interactivity or anything you'd like to know?
In regards to how it works with Barefoot on website, does it pull over from the property page?
So that's a really, really good question that I was going to explain how Barefoot works a little later, but we might as well jump in and go into it right now. No, it's perfect. We might as well, we can discuss it right now. So Barefoot has been a great partner of ours as far as working with us and developing. We've developed an API together, and for the customers that are using it, I think it's been a huge advantage. So there's two parts to the API with Barefoot. Right now, as far as the photos themselves go, for most people, the tour works great because it's a link, but you still have all the photos that you have to get up on the website. And for anybody that's doing that right now, you know that it is not an easy thing to do. You're literally having to save those photos either to the desktop or to a folder. You're having to upload them one at a time or in bulk. It can be really, really time-consuming as you have a lot of photos. The other issue is what happens when something changes. So I always like to use the example, you have a homeowner who just changed a bedspread or repainted the walls, and they're so excited for everybody to see it, and maybe they take a picture and they give it to you to get up on the slideshow or on the thumbnails, and for some reason somebody doesn't place it up there. And I mean, I think you've all had homeowners who have called you at some point or another because they're upset, they don't like the picture, why didn't my picture get up there? So what we've done is we've developed an API with Barefoot. So anybody that has a tour with TruPlace and working with Barefoot, what's going to happen is rather than you have to be in the image management business, we're taking out of that business. What will happen is the photos that are on the tour will automatically feed through the API to your software and up to the website. So basically you never, A, have to worry about uploading a photo again, and you never have to worry that all the photos that are going to be on the website aren't the most current. Because anytime we make a change, Barefoot's going in there once a day at night. They're looking for any changes, and if there's a change, it uploads that new photo. So not only do you not have to worry about the uploading of the photos, but we're taking out of the image management business. We're housing all those photos on our servers, So you're not sitting there having to house all these images on yours anymore. So for the customers, again, that are using it, they're telling us that it's just been a huge relief and really a time save on their end. And again, that's been just a great relationship with us and Barefoot. Did that answer the question, or did you any other information you wanted to know about how those photos kind of get through to the website?
I guess currently we're a small company and we have plans for the future, as most companies do, but we're using the iFrame iLink. Would it be the same fashion or no?
That I am not sure. I probably can get with Claiborne after this and find out that answer as far as the photos. I think your second question might be, how do the actual tours display on your website? So
yeah,
there's photos and then the tours.
Part and parcel, yep.
Right.
I'm sorry?
All right, so exactly. Okay, good. So the second part is, how do the tours themselves display? So the tour itself is a simple URL. There's a couple ways you can display it, and really the way that we recommend displaying it is through kind of like what you're talking about, your iframe. We call it our tour widget. What happens is we provide documentation to use so that your web designer can it's basically adding a couple lines of JavaScript. And what happens when the person clicks on the tour button, rather than opening in a new window, which is one of the options, you can simply place the URL as a button on the website, and when you click on it, it opens in a new window. Through the tour widget, when you click on the button, what it does is it opens in an iframe, or in this case, we call it our widget, on the screen. It fills up 90% of the screen, and they stay on your site. So at another time, if they decide to click off and they decide to go into a different tour, they're not actually leaving your website. And one of the things we can do with you is, every company is a little bit different depending on who you're working with as far as your website goes. So what we do is we work with companies individually. So, if after the call you said, hey, Mike, I'd like to get some more information, what I'd do is sit with you, see what you're doing now, talk to you about who your website provider is, and then once we get that information, we're usually able to work with your website provider to find the best way for the tour to open on your website.
Okay.
So hopefully, did that answer the question?
I believe so.
Okay. Again, after the call, I'm going to give you my contact information. So if you want to discuss one-on-one or set up for a time one-on-one, I'd be happy to talk about specifics as far as your properties and how it might work best for you. So one of the things that we had completed last year was we had an independent study completed by VRM Intel, Amy Highnote, and what we were looking at is, what difference or what kind of a difference does having TruPlace tours make on bookings? So what she did is she took a number of our clients throughout the Carolinas and had an independent study done. It was over about 150,000 nights or so, I believe. And what she did is she took a look at properties. About, I think, 55% of the properties or 52% of the properties had TruPlace tours, and something like 48 or 45% of the properties didn't have TruPlace tours, and then looked at the bookings. And we really came up with some, I think are substantial findings. If anyone wants after the presentation, I can send a full copy of that study. Right now, I'm just going to highlight 3 numbers that I think really say a lot about what we found out. The first one was 17% more bookings. So this was over. The 17% bookings were over in the Carolinas, just a period of, I believe, one season or one summer season. So second number to show you was 18% more nights. So what that meant is if you take the 17% more bookings, which was 3 more bookings, or 18% more nights, those more nights actually ended up averaging out to 17 more nights. If somebody's in a place where there might be 2 seasons, 3 seasons, that 17% could be significantly more. But, to take a look, there's not many products that I know out there that through a proven study can show you that you're going to see a 17% increase in bookings. Everybody here knows, what your average nightly fee is and what your average and what your commission is. So, I do this individually with people on an ROI calculator to show what it means to you. But you can kind of take a look yourself and figure out what an extra 18 nights or 17% increase in bookings would mean not only to your homeowners, but to yourselves as well after commission. The other number I like to point out is the 18% faster bookings. That actually ended up being a 22-day increase further back in bookings. So there's obviously a couple reasons why quicker bookings are important. Number one, you don't have as many homeowners calling you up and saying, why isn't my place rented, right? Nobody wants to get those calls. The other part is when you're booking further out, we know you're doing less discounting. So if you're doing 22 days booking out further, 18% faster, you're looking at much less of a chance of a discount, which again is better for you and it's making your homeowner happier as well. So just to point out a couple of the, the specific advantages of using TruPlace in your tours. Number one, the renters have a better ability to understand the layout of the property, right? We described that. You're removing uncertainty and booking now with confidence. Just knowing where everything is, removing any uncertainty, just having a real good feel and literally being able to plan that vacation before they come, they're going to feel a lot more confident about clicking that Book It Now button. Professional photos. I tell everybody professional photos are so important. If for some reason, I like to say if for some reason you decide that you don't want to use TruPlace and you want to have your own photos, that's completely fine. But what I would tell you is make sure they're professional photos. I've seen tons of photos over time where, just people are standing in the mirror. You can see people in flashes. Towels are on the floor. Just little things that we look for that people don't. The lighting, the view of the room. It's really important for professional photos. One thing I'm going to jump back to real quick that I didn't mention earlier. I talked about we're sending in a photographer to take the photos and draw the floor plans. If you already have your own photos and you've already made an investment in your own photos, that's great. We're not expecting you to lose that investment. We're able to use your photos. We're able to send somebody in to draw the floor plans and give you the same functionality. If for some reason you have floor plans and don't have professional photos, same time we can send a photographer in. We can use your floor plans and create the same interactive floor plan that you see. And lastly, we have customers that say, we have photos, we have floor plans, but I love the way your tours interact, and we really think this would be great for our site. We're able to use your floor plans and your photos, and you'll get the same interactivity. So no matter what you have and what you don't have, TruPlace is able to service your needs. And again, if anybody has questions on how that would work after the call, I'd be happy to answer that for you. Mobile tours. Mobile is something that's really, really important to discuss. 55% of renters use a smartphone. 77% are using a tablet when researching a trip. It's really important that whatever you're using from a technology standpoint is mobile. If you bring up TruPlace, any of our tours on a mobile device, what you're going to see is that it's reactive. It sizes right to the screen. All you need to do is touch that screen, and you're going to be able to bring up a tour. The last thing you want is to have a product where they're on a mobile device, they're interested, they click to use it, and then you either get a spin or you get a dead link. The person's just going to get frustrated and click off. People have a short attention span. The last thing they want to do is get stuck and get locked up or something doesn't work. So it's really, really important that whatever you're using for tours, that they're mobile. And as time goes on, any conference you go to, everybody's talking about how mobile is important, and it's only going to get more important as time goes on. I talked a little bit about your reservation agents before. Reservation agents, any of them you'll talk to, it is really a great tool. One of the things that's really nice if you do have Barefoot software is with the API that we have, not only will those tours feed to the website, but it'll feed into the reservation software as well. So again, it's just another benefit of having Barefoot as your software with TruPlace. But as far as the agents go themselves, I've had people say, well, our agents kind of know what the properties are. They kind of know how they're set out. It's really, really tough as you're adding properties, as agents are switching, to really, really understand and know where every property is and how it's laid out. We had recently brought in a customer that said after we completed, they really couldn't believe the difference in the call that a reservation agent had with somebody before having TruPlace and after. Rather than spending the first 15 or 20 minutes trying to figure out where things are to describe it, those calls went down to 5 minutes. Because when a reservation agent literally has the tour in front of them and can describe where everything is, those calls get away from where's this located and where's that located, and really focuses on, where are the restaurants at night, what else is there to do, kind of the things you want them talking about, not spending a lot of time on, where's one bedroom next to another. So you're not calling the owners to ask a question. I've had reservation agents say they've literally had to get the owners on the phone to ask a question. The other really nice piece to with the reservation agents is the online booking piece. we've talked to a lot of property manager owners who have said that after having TruPlace, the amount of online booking itself went way up. So the amount of time spent with reservation agents or the amount coming in, not only do you have less time on the phone, but you have less calls having to be answered by the reservation agents. Again, a huge plus. The quick load technology I showed you, again, people have a short attention span. Nothing worse than if you've ever clicked on an old 360 tour and you click and there's this hourglass that comes up and 30 seconds later you're waiting for a tour to load. People are going to get tired. They're not going to want to sit there and wait for a tour to load up. They may get just frustrated and click off. With our quick load technology, what you're able to do is as soon as you move that mouse over, you're going to see the picture pop up. If you're on a mobile device, as soon as you click on that picture on that room, you're instantly going to see the picture pop up. So it really, from a functionality standpoint, works great for the customer. Third-party distribution. We recently formed about 6 months ago a partnership with FlipKey. So anybody that uses FlipKey for for an online travel agent, what's going to happen is if you have a TruPlace tour and you're using FlipKey, that tour will flow automatically up to FlipKey. They did a really nice job of creating a tour button for us. So anybody that clicks on a property that has FlipKey, there'll be a floor plan button in the corner. They'll click on it, and you'll see the same interactive tour pop up. And they did this in their own light box, and it pops up. It's great, and it's customized for their colors. So that's another advantage you get. I get no additional cost for that. That's just a partnership we formed with FlipKey. And the tours can be used on other OTA sites as well. We're talking to others, in talks with others about adding our button and working on there as well. But right now, FlipKey is where the tour will actually flow through. And we talked about seamless integration. I talked about that earlier with Barefoot, just the ability to have the API, have those pictures flow to your website. Again, it's been a great partnership for TruPlace, and for the clients we have utilizing it, they'll tell you it's really taken a big issue off of their plate. So finally, what it really comes back to is more revenue for you and your homeowners. What are the things that you can do to bring in more revenue for your homeowners, for yourself? What's something that you can offer that others aren't offering out there that makes you stand apart? I think if you look at, TruPlace, the 17% more reservations, the 18% more nights, the 18% faster bookings, really, TruPlace can make a huge difference for you and for your clients, just in many different ways. And then I'd like to ask if anybody has any questions, anything I didn't answer, anything you'd like to know, please feel free to ask. My email address is here on the screen, so if for some reason something you don't want to discuss on the call right now, please feel free to reach out, and I'd be happy to set up a call or talk through email and answer any questions you have. So anything else, anything anyone would like to ask?
101.
Mike, I just want to comment. I checked, and this is Claiborne from Barefoot. Anybody who's using iLink or the API, the functionality is exactly the same. So no concerns there. Everything just flows exactly the same in and out of the Barefoot system with TruPlace.
Oh, great. Thank you. I was going to ask after the call if you could, if you could answer that. So that's perfect. Thank you.
Yep.
I would say obviously one of the things that I'm wondering about as a small business is what are the fees cost? I don't know if that's something you do privately or.
Yeah, I mean, I usually do that privately. Some of the
Okay.
fees depend on the size of the properties. So in general, our pricing is based on the size of the property and the number of bedrooms. I think what you would find, and I'd be happy to discuss individually with you, is we really price aggressively for the product that you get. If you want, again, I'd be happy to go through individual pricings, talk about how many units you have, exactly how the fee would work. It's priced different if you need floor plans and pictures or just floor plans. So kind of good. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It's really tailored to what's going to fit best for you.
Okay, that's what I figured. That's basically my question.
All right. Yeah, everybody wants to know how much it costs, right? Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm happy to quickly speak with anybody individually, and once I know, how many units we're talking about and the size of those units, I can quickly come up and, give you an idea and a price exact price as far as what that's going to cost.
Okay.
Well, I want to thank you very much, Claiborne. I'll turn this back over to you. And again, please feel free to reach out to me if there's anything, price, or any questions I didn't answer today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. But